There's an interesting clip that's recently, come out from a interview CNN conducted with Elon Musk's father, Errol, out in South Africa. And you see the comments that Elon makes, and Elon grew up with his father in apartheid South Africa. Well, this is going to touch on apartheid. And you wonder why Elon Musk says the things that he says about black people and anywhere else. Now, how many times I've said that Elon Musk is an Afrikaner from South Africa, grew up during apartheid. Well, I want you to hear what his father says, actually, about apartheid. And how many times I told you that culture is the same everywhere, and that's why that culture cannot get along with nobody. Let's go ahead and check this out.
If you take South Africa, we have a small white population that projects the European culture, or what we learned from Europe.
And oppressed millions of black people.
No.
For decades.
How do you oppress? We gave them work, we fed them. They grew from a tiny little group into a massive group. That's not oppression, that's feeding them. Do you understand? You only grow big if you get fed. You only start at 800 and become 50 million if you get fed. We fed them, for crying out loud. Enough with this nonsense.
But so you understand, because the black population was so oppressed under apartheid.
Well, we never saw this oppression you're talking about.
You never saw it?
No, I never saw it.
Yeah, because you're white.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he had the nerve to sit up here and liken apartheid. So, hey, we fed them. They were doing good underneath apartheid, right? And he don't know nothing what apartheid is. He say, well, yeah, because you're white. And he say, I don't want to hear this nonsense. Listen, that same attitude is how these people over here in the United States of America feel about our people that went through slavery. We fed them. They look at them today. It's because we fed them. We gave them jobs. We gave them a place to stay. We treated them, pretty good, actually, in apartheid. Well, what are you talking about? We wasn't that bad, right? Or slavery here in America. We treated them pretty good, right? This is the sick mindset that these people have, ladies and gentlemen. Sick. When I tell you that they cannot get along with nobody, that their thinking and their culture is not even like the rest of us, it's warped. It's not normal. That white supremacy mindset is not normal. How can you sit there and say that we fed them, but you were taking their lives indiscriminately during apartheid? They couldn't go to and from at all. You kept them dirt poor. You was a minority in South Africa and running everything. You stole the wealth of South Africa. You did everything horrible in South Africa. And his only thought process with the whole thing is, well, they grew from 800 to 50 million. It wasn't only 800 people in South Africa. That's crazy to even think they only had 800 people in those areas. Please, the continent was full of black folk. But this is how these people think. And as a person who's been to South Africa, they got people like him walking around. And they some of them are bold too. Some of them bold, and they want to talk to black South Africans any kind of way. And unfortunately, it's a big unfortunate, some of them are very docile. They let them talk to them, crazy. That's why, when I go anywhere, especially on the continent where they at, in the space of South Africa, I make sure to let people hear me talk. Why? I want you to know that I am Black American FBA. I want you to know. And our reputation precedes us. When we go places, we going to get respect because our reputation precedes us. And at the same time, people like him, they say, oh, no. That's one of them Black Americans. I ain't going to say nothing to them. Because they know good and well we going to pop off on them. We don't care about that, about him. We don't look at him as nothing to be feared. His people, we don't care. I mean, look, we ain't trying to start nothing with nobody, but you're not going to treat us any kind of way. You're sure not going to talk crazy. And I've always said, you surely not going to talk crazy to me when I'm in the African continent. That's the last place you're going to talk crazy to me. If anything, I'm going to show the other brothers and sisters how to handle y'all. You feel me? But this is their mindset everywhere they go. So when some of you think that, oh, it's only how they act in America, no, sir, and no, ma'am. This is how their mindset is everywhere. Now, as all of them act like that, I will not say that because that would be ignorant. But just from my experience, the culture is the culture. And those who are not that way are cast out of the culture. Those who are not that way are looked down upon because they don't think like that. You understand what I'm saying? If somebody in their culture say, hey, wait a minute, that's not right what you're doing to black people. No. I don't agree with that. How long? I'm standing with black people. You're not right. They attack the white person fiercely for even saying that. A white person either better go along with that mindset or be quiet if they want to stay in the white community. You understand? There's no way I would look at any system that oppresses another group of people and say any of that was good. This is why your numbers are declining, sir. This is why y'all declining worldwide, not just in America, or you declining in the European nations. You're definitely declining in South Africa. You're declining. Why are you on the decline? Because of the things you have done. That's why you're on the decline. You don't hear black folks talking about they on a decline. You don't hear Arabs saying that, Hispanics, or any other group, Asians. You don't hear them talking about they on the decline. That's y'all. Because your time is up. People are tired of your racism. They're tired of your white supremacy. Even a lot of brothers and sisters in South Africa are tired of you. In South Africa, boy, like I said, these people are racist to South Africans. They deal with the same problems about their hair. Don't want them to talk about racial issues in a country that black people are dominant in South Africa, and they don't want them talking about certain things because these folks still own and control a lot of the jobs in South Africa. I never forget the first time I went to South Africa. I was in Cape Town, and shout out to Sister Tawani, shout out to her. And she said, that's a black-owned restaurant right here. And boy, I like, what did you just say to me? Now, Tawani, she's a sister from L.A., right? So she's been out there in Cape Town. She said, yeah, it's a black-owned. I said, for me to even hear you say black-owned anything, I shouldn't be hearing that word, black-owned. I say, I'm not in the United States. Because, my experiences prior to that was Kenya, Ethiopia, that sort of thing. But just so, it was definitely Ethiopians, Kenyans, you say black, African descent. But South Africa was something different, at least definitely Cape Town. And, the restaurant was good and cool, but it's just like Cape Town is a spot too, boy. Oh, there's a lot of them in Cape Town. Oh my God, it's a lot of them in Cape Town. Now, Joburg, there's a lot of black folks in Joburg. Definitely. Durban, there's another one. A lot of black folks over there. The Zulus and all of them, they are in there big time. But for what this dude says, okay, if you don't like, if you think that nothing was wrong with apartheid, and there was another clip of him talking about, the U.S., it would be horrible if the white people become a minority. Well, you're a minority in South Africa. Why haven't you left yet, sir? Why haven't you left? Y'all ancestors is Dutch in the Netherlands. Why haven't you carried your happy self to the Netherlands? That's why I never understand these people in South Africa. I'm talking about the white ones. You want to complain on black folk, talk about how they can't run a country, talk about they do this and that and the third. Okay, cool. Well, go to O.R. Tambo Airport in Johannesburg and just go back to your homeland, and you won't have nothing to worry about what the black folks are doing. Because white people control the Netherlands. You understand? Go back to your homeland if it's that bad with black people. I told y'all, y'all couldn't let me be a president of an African nation. Boy, I couldn't be a president of South Africa. Oh, hell no. People like him, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know what? Since you think apartheid was okay, you know what? you should be in this country. Let me go ahead on and make sure I can broker a deal with the Netherlands to give you a first class trip back to your homeland. You ain't got to worry about us no more. I'll work with them to get you to go back. Oh yeah, I'll work with them because you don't need to be here. The worst thing that Nelson Mandela did after apartheid was not broker a deal with the Netherlands to take their people back. I'm talking about South Africa should have flew them there. You know, they should have to pay for it. They should have flew them in all of them that wanted to go. Say, hey, we got a first class flight for you. Going back to your homeland. Because these people cause problems in South Africa. Just like these people over here cause problems in America. That's why I say everywhere they go, they create a trailer park. America's a trailer park. Where them folks in South Africa, the places they at, that's a trailer park too. It's a trailer park mentality. Now we're gonna call this stuff out because globally it needs to be called out. Can't stand these people always talking crap on black folk everywhere they go, like they so much better. You ain't better than nobody, bro. You ain't better than nobody. You had to leave your homeland. You fled the Netherlands, right? You fled to go down there to South Africa because you couldn't make it in Europe. Then you got the nerve to talk about the black people? And I need my brothers in South Africa to start telling them that. Well, go back to your homeland. Go, leave. This is our homeland. It's not yours. I don't care if you were born here. You're not an African. An African is a black person. That's an African. You're not an African. I ain't gonna lie. I've never like hearing them say they're South African. They ain't African. You're not no African. You're a European. You may got South African citizenship, but you're not a South African. Only black people can be South African. Some of them will stand against me saying that. I don't care because you know what? Look, I said, look, the old me gonna come back now. I'm gonna step on a whole lot of toes now. I'm ready to do it. It's our country. You're right, it's your country, and some of you don't know what you're talking about. That's why people like him doing what the hell he want to do over there. See, I promise you this. If you had all 45 million FBAs in South Africa right now and we was running it, they'd been gone. Because we ain't going to put up with that. Oh, hell no. Hell no. But tell me what y'all think about this idiot. Unfortunately, we got his son over here. His son need to go back over there with his daddy. We got enough problems over here, but he ain't going back. That's what they do. They flee over here and get a little leg up, and they don't want to go back. But yeah. But you know what? Hey, they on the decline, so it don't matter what his son do.